In the headlines, President Muhammadu Buhari says insecurity will soon be a thing of the past as terrorists kill worshippers in Zamfara Mosque. Police intercept 2 buses loaded with live cartridges in Lagos State. Tinubu Shettima Presidential Campaign Council says non-inclusion of Yemi Osibanjo in list no cause for alarm. Italy heads to poll in elections that could take far right to power. Hello and welcome to News Update on Trust Television. I am Nten Epang. And now the news in full. President Muhammadu Buhari says that insecurity in Nigeria will soon be a thing of the past with the renewed efforts of the Nigerian military. The president said this at the weekend in New York while speaking during an audience with the Prime Minister of Ireland, Michael Martin. The president, in a statement issued Saturday by his spokesperson Femi Adesina, told the Prime Minister that with the experience during the COVID-19 pandemic, it was better for the world to work together rather than independently for enhanced progress for humanity. Michael Martin had told President Buhari that Ireland was looking for ways to increase the level of relations with the country. He expressed hope that his country will move into other areas like the deployment of technology to help Nigeria overcome its challenges in health and security.
The theme of this year's event cut across divergent issues stemming from world economy to geopolitics and global health crisis. Nothing has demonstrated this more than the coronavirus crisis, which united the world and caused a rethink on response to global emergencies and the need for food sufficiency. At the same time, the ongoing crisis in Ukraine has disrupted energy and food supply chains and thus negatively impacted the global economy. These challenges demand on all of us leaders, either of governments, global institutions, or businesses, to necessarily rethink the best approaches to address new and old global challenges for our countries and continent to rise to their full potentials. African leaders must work tirelessly to get rid of corruption or by fighting it. Our national resources must not find safe havens around the world. This fight is a necessity and not a choice to give our citizens a better life through economic prosperity, social peace, and security. May I once again call on all to recall the United Nations General Assembly Special Session against Corruption Political Declaration of June 2021 and ensure its effective implementation in the realization of our collective objective for global food security and sustainable infrastructural development and progress of our continent, so that we can take our rightful place among nations.
The police in Zamfara State have confirmed the report on attack on Rowanjema village in Bukuyum local government area of the state, but said information is very sketchy at the moment due to the poor road and communication network occasioned by the remote nature of that area. The police said tactical team led by the divisional police officer of Bukuyum were immediately mobilized and deployed to the village to conduct on-the-spot assessment. Police Public Relations Officer Mohammed Shehu said the police will furnish the public with the right information as soon as they establish what happened at the village in Bukuyum local government area of Zamfara State. Bandit had reportedly killed 13 worshippers in a mosque in the area on Saturday. and at least 7 security men were abducted by the Islamic State of West African Province, a SWAP terrorist group, in the early hours of Saturday in the northeastern Gubbio local government area of Borno State. It was gathered that the security men, comprising 1 policeman, 4 members of the Civilian Joint Task Force CJTF, and 3 hunters were abducted after they were overpowered by the terrorists who stormed their location in large numbers. Police sources told Zagozola Makama, a counter-insurgency expert and security analyst in Lake Chad, that the security men were attacked at the rural urban migration site Ruga at Pompombalia village, located about 5 kilometers to Gubbio. The terrorists carted away 1 Hilux patrol vehicle and weapons, and thereafter moved towards Gaitai village in the Ngenzei local government area. Police officers attached to the Ikorodu division in Lagos State have intercepted 2 commercial buses loaded with a large cache of live cartridges, 3 dismantled motorcycles, and some personal effects. Spokesman of the State Police Command, Benjamin Hundeyin, said in a statement on Saturday that they were intercepted at Poromope Estate, Ijede Road, Ikorodu, in Lagos. Hundeyin said preliminary investigations indicate that the suspects were on their way to Katsina State. Meanwhile, the suspect recovered exhibits as well as the vehicles with registration numbers KMC 438YK and KMC 394XF have been transferred to the Lagos State Command Headquarters, Ikeja, for further investigations. Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is not on the Presidential Campaign Council of the ruling All Progressives Congress, the APC. Osinbajo, who is among those who sought the presidential ticket of the ruling party, supposedly fell out with the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu in the build-up to the primary election. The 422-man list released by the Presidential Campaign Council Secretary James Faleke late Friday has the presidential candidate and party's national chairman Abdullahi Adamu as deputy chairman 1 and 2. In a statement by Faleke announcing the nominees of the leadership of the APC Presidential Council, he advised them to pick up their appointment letters on Monday, 26 September at noon. Now, meanwhile, the Tinubu-Shettima Presidential Campaign Council says the non-inclusion of the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo is not an indication that something is amiss within the party. A statement from the chief spokesperson and Director of Public Affairs of the Council, Festus Keyamo, said since President Buhari is the chairman of the Council, the President specifically directed that the Vice President and the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, be left out of the Campaign Council to enable them concentrate on the governance of the country and administration of government. Keyamo noted that as a responsible party and government, all key functionaries of government cannot abandon their positions for electioneering campaigns. The Campaign Council said as a party that has a mandate of the Nigerian people to administer the country on their behalf at least till May 29, 2023, it intends to do that with all sense of responsibility, campaigns or no campaigns. And a group of youths within the People's Democratic Party in the North have staged a peaceful protest in Kaduna State to demand the immediate resignation of the party's national chairman, Senator Iyorchia Ayu. Holding placards with various inscriptions, the group, under the aegis of Northern PDP youth, took their protest to the state PDP secretariat in the Kaduna State capital on Saturday. Although they were denied access to the premises, the leader of the group, Chairman Northern PDP Youth, Shehu Isa, insisted that you must step down to pave way for a Southerner to emerge as chairman of the PDP. The demand, according to him, is in the interest of peace, equity, and fairness. He said the continued stay of Senator Ayu in office could jeopardize the success of the party in the 2023 general elections. As supporters of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, on Saturday staged solidarity rallies in Kwara and the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, to drum support for the Obi Dati ticket. In Abuja, the supporters began the march from Unity Fountain to the Moshood Abiola National Stadium. Jama Kanwa for which there in our reports.
The 1 Million Man March began with the supporters converging at the Unity Fountain before heading to the City Gate, which was the final destination. Some of the supporters are excited to participate in the march. They are eager to share the excitement with us.
We started this march from Unity Fountain through, the British embassies to this place. The motivation for the people that came out today was huge, so we are out to march for Obi and Dati for president because of the agenda that he has brought before the Nigerian people. Okay, he's promising to bring inclusiveness, to unify the country more than what we have been experiencing, and to make life better for our youths, okay, and for Nigeria in general.
We are here today to show our support, our unflinching support to Mr. Peter Obi, the very humble ex-governor of Anambra State. You can see Nigeria wants change, all right? The positive change. This time around, we want a dynamic and competent leader. We want someone that will transform the country from what it is now to something that is far much better than what we have.
I'm super proud to be part of this movement, this progress movement. For me, I would say it's a season of revival for Nigeria. We the youth, we are out to say no to bad governance. It's a time we have come to correct the negative impression the world have about Nigeria. It's a time to rewrite the story of Nigeria. So we want to say no to every negativity that the world sees about us. It's time to make progress.
Isn't it time to give chance to obedient? Isn't it time to give chance to whom is due? Isn't it time we take what belongs to us? I'm proud to be a Labour. I'm proud to be Papa Mama Pekin.
Although campaigns start officially on 28 September, the Obi Dati supporters, popularly called Obedience, has held several rallies in the last few months to mobilize support for the presidential candidate across the country. Shama Kanwafo, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching News Update on Trust Television. Coming up after the break. Should women propose marriage to men? Answers to that question when we come back. Do stay with us.
To every politician, as the campaigns gain momentum and passions begin to rise, remember, the errors of your opponents do not make you a success. Do not run down your opponent and inflame passions to violence between and among your supporters. What counts is what you plan to do for the electorate and how you intend to relieve their sufferings and bring succor. Nigeria is in dire need of patriotic leaders at all levels, leaders who will make national development their priority. Concentrate on telling the electorate what you intend to do when you get into office. Focus on making your vision clear to the electorate. Don't engage in verbal abuses, fake news or speeches. Keep dealing with issues that will bring progress. You win the hearts and minds of the people by being above board, by being civil, patriotic, and showing empathy. Let's join hands to make the 2023 elections peaceful. A message from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Update on Trust Television. A recap of our major stories. President Muhammadu Buhari says insecurity will soon be a thing of the past as terrorists kill worshippers in Zamfara Mosque. Police intercept 2 buses loaded with live cartridges in Lagos State. And some more news now. One recurring feature on Nigerian roads, especially highways, is traffic gridlock. This is usually attributed to the bad nature of the road, accidents and other issues that hinder free flow of traffic. And this report, Noel Sampson looks at the recent traffic gridlock along the Abuja-Kaduna road that left many stranded for hours. We'll bring you that story in our subsequent bulletins. And moving on, and after days of painstaking work between the Kaduna State Government, Julius Berger, Nigeria PLC, the military and other relevant agencies, the gridlock at the Kateri axis of the Kaduna-Abuja road has been resolved. A statement from the Kaduna Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, Sam Melarowan, said there is now free flow of traffic at kilometer 75 of the highway, which was the epicenter of the gridlock after a heavy-duty vehicle broke down at the location, causing a blockage. Arawan, while regretting the protracted situation which placed citizens in an undesirable state of severe hardship for days, commended security agencies that worked round the clock to ensure continuous security of lives and safety of stranded citizens. No fewer than 86 persons have been arrested over alleged defaulting of the monthly environmental sanitation in different parts of Nasarawa State. Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources Yakubu Kwanta made this known shortly after the environmental sanitation exercise in Lafia. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented from our studio.
Every last Saturday of the month is Sanitation Day in all parts of Nasarawa to clean the environment and improve hygiene. While monitoring the exercise, Nasarawa State Commissioner for Environment and Natural Resources Yakubu Kwanta said 28 were found as defaulters in Lafia, the state capital, while 86 persons were arrested over alleged violation of the exercise across states.
And we had a lot of defaulters that were arrested and will be prosecuted according to our law. Within the Lafia metropolis, we were able to apprehend about 28 persons, defaulters, and we have a total of about 86 defaulters across Nasarawa State. That shows that our enforcement team is very, very effective, and we will sit down and strategize our team to see that we design the architecture of the environmental enforcement.
He said those arrested have been charged before the different mobile courts, adding that sanctions based on the gravity of their offences have been meted on them. He said labourers engaged by the government will ensure complete evacuation of refuse dumped by the residents at different locations of the state.
We have more than 7 trucks going around evacuating all the dump sites. And it is not something that you can do it within 1 hour or 2. And they will continue to do it, and it may last till evening. But I assure you, we'll clear all the dump sites before the day runs out by the grace of God.
The commissioner also commended the police and other security agencies for their contributions to the success of the exercise and promised to continue to enlighten public to comply with the importance of environmental sanitation.
We'll continue to sensitize them. I've already set up a temporary committee within the ministry. All those areas that we saw that there is less level of compliance, we're inviting the shop owners to encourage them and have proper synergy with us so that in the subsequent sanitation we'll have a total compliance.
During the exercise, shops and other business premises remained closed.
One tradition that has come to stay the world over is that of men proposing to the ladies when it comes to marital relationships. Now, with each passing day since the feminist revolution of the 1970s, there have been noticeable shifts in that tradition as the world has gradually been subtly introduced to the idea that it may just be fine for a lady to propose to a man as well. And so what do people think of the possibility of having the ladies propose to men? Fatima Musa speaks to some Nigerians in Abuja. Let's join her for the report.
Can a woman propose marriage to a man? Well, that's the question of the day. In some parts of the world, proposing marriage is not a big deal. But some religion, tradition, and culture thinks otherwise. Let's find out from people what they think about this.
For many, women proposing to their male partners is nothing new, as it has been witnessed in many parts of the world. To this group of people, as far as the result is positive, it doesn't matter who pops the question.
Yes, of course. Like maybe you are in love with somebody and the person is not financially okay and you are okay. It's not a bad deal. But here in Nigeria, we take it as a wrong thing for men.
Yeah, it's normal. It's only in this part of the world that you see women feeling inferiority complex when it comes to issue of proposing to marriage. In many countries, like some developed countries, you see how bold the woman will be to propose to a man for marriage.
We are in a modernized society now. What happens previously, due to our culture, people feel that, as a man, you're supposed to do everything. But with modernization and the way it works now, it's easy.
If a woman can take that bold step and ask, then before a woman can ask a man, will you marry me? Then after being in a relationship, you know the kind of man you're going out with.
On the other side of the divided are those who see it as a no-no, since the responsibility of popping the question rests on the men. To them, religious and traditional belief system restricts them from such modern-day contradictions of age-long practices.
Well, it all depends. Some people might think that the lady is desperate, that she doesn't have self-respect based on the African culture. You know, we are Africans, yes, but it all depends on personal opinion, you understand?
Well, I don't think it's okay according to my religion. I'm a Christian and I don't think I've ever come across any place in the Bible where a woman approached a man. Because there will not be respect and he will not know the value of the woman. That's why.
Well, there you have it. Some people say it's okay for a woman to propose marriage to a man due to civilization, while some say it's against their religion and tradition. Fatima Musa, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Well, different strokes for different folks, they say. Well, let's move on now. The Executive Secretary, National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, Anthony Ojukwu, SAN, says the commission received more than 1.7 million complaints from 2018 to 2020. Ojukwu, who revealed this in an interview in Abuja, said out of the 1.7 million of the complaints, over 60% have been handled. He said the commission was able to achieve this because of increased manpower, specialties, and a deeper level of research that enabled it to resolve complaints. Ojukwu informed that most of the complaints are related to police brutality and extrajudicial killings, adding that as soon as he came on board, he decided to embark on public inquiry on SARS activity and recommended the disbandment of the police unit. Ojukwu added that the government did not act fast on the recommendations, adding that the answers protest started shortly after that.
As at the end of 2021, we are recording almost 1,700,000 complaints. And we've been able to effectively handle almost 65 to 70% of these complaints, because we are able now to have more hands, have more specialties. Majority of the complaints we are getting about violation of human rights was from law enforcement agents, where most of the complaints were on police brutality, extrajudicial killings, and all that. So immediately I came in, we decided to embark on a public inquiry on the SARS activities. We now state to tax that we have to deal with this issue of impunity by law enforcement agents. Now, you also recall that one of the recommendations we did, which was not accepted by government then, was the establishment of state police and local government police, because we saw the level of insecurity in the system.
Officers of the Nigerian Customs Service Zone A Federal Operations Unit have seized 81,425 litres of premium multi-spirit, popularly known as PMS, in the Badagry area of Lagos State. Acting controller of the unit, Hossein Ejibunu, explained that the suspect used Dane guns to shoot at customs officers who made the seizure. He said the seizure followed painstaking intelligence and perseverance on the part of the officers who are committed to protecting the national economy. He declared a situation where the federal government spends a huge amount of money to subsidize fuel for Nigerians' benefit, but a few elements are smuggling it for selfish gains. On Florence, Italians begin voting on Sunday in an election expected to usher in the country's first government led by the far right since World War II, bringing Eurosceptic populists to the heart of Europe. The Brothers of the Italy party, led by one-time Mussolini supporters Giorgia Meloni, is leading opinion polls and looks set to take office in a coalition with the far-right League and Silvio Berlusconi's Forza Italia parties. Meloni, 45, who has campaigned on the motto of God, country and family, is hoping to become at least first female prime minister. Reports say electors were seen queuing in the morning at polling centers even before they're opened. Whoever wins will face challenges from rampant inflation to an energy crisis as winter approaches, linked to the conflict in Ukraine. And that's the news update this hour. For more, do connect with us across all our social media platforms. I am Nten Ekpang. Many thanks for watching. Bye-bye.